Hi guys, for my educational assessment tool, I'm going to be using Google Forms as a means of assessment. It's a really interesting tool because it's so convenient for educators. There is a setting in Google Forms that lets you create self-correcting quizzes. So the response time is instantaneous to the students, and it makes it so we don't have to do really anything after it's all set up to correct itself. I think this website has the easiest use on a laptop. There's actually no app for it in the App Store. Maybe for Androids, I only checked the Apple App Store, but the impression that I was getting is that there wasn't an app for it, which is surprising. You can get it on your phone by just looking it up on the browser, however. I pulled that up. But it's a bit funky because when you type in Google Forms, instead of going to your whole screen, kind of like this one does, it just skips right to creating a form. I don't know how easy that is to see, so I'm sorry if it's difficult, but take my word for it, it just goes straight to making a form, which is a bit tricky. You can go and see the same settings as you can, as I'm going to show you on here, and create a quiz like you can here, like I'm going to show you. I just don't think the ease of use is as there as it is on the laptop. That's just my personal preference. So I'm going to show you how to you guys how to do it on the laptop. So this is a screen that you see when you go to Google Forms. All of the forms that you've made will show up here. Don't let me fool you. This is not the first time I've done this video. It might be like the 8th time at this point. So I had a bunch of different forms here, but I've deleted them all so it doesn't look silly. So go and start with a blank one right here. And this just looks like a regular Google Sheet. So we can go over to here to this little settings gear and click that and go over to the section called quizzes. This same section was in the website on your phone. So then there's this little slider and it says make this a quiz. So we'll click that. And then we have all of these other options. So there is a little section about grades, a little section about what the students can see after they're done. For the grades, like I said before, the best feature of this is that you can see it. All the students can see their grades immediately after they submit if you set it up that way, or you can have this section selected so that you can go and view and grade them yourself. There is a setting where you can make a question a paragraph answer, and then this one is kind of mandatory at that point. But if you're just doing a quick quiz with multiple choice, even short answer, then this is your best friend. And so then there's what the students can see after they're done. There's the missed questions, their correct answers, and point values. You can select these or deselect them as you'd like. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to keep them all selected. So we'll go ahead and save that. We'll name this quiz 1, easy peasy, and we'll start our first question. So if you go down here, there's this drop-down menu with all the different things that you can add. Multiple choice and check boxes are functionally the same thing. It just changes the little circle to a square sort of shape that you can select. So this will make what is the first color of the rainbow. And then we can type in our options. So we could say yellow, violet, red, and magenta. And then we go down to our answer key right here, click that, and we'll click the right answer, the one that it will expect students to select. So click red, there it is, and that's that. So then we go over here to this little thing and we can assign a point value to it. So let's say that is worth 2 points. Right here, really tiny, I'll zoom in on it a little bit, tiny, there's this little clicker, so you can either click up or click down about how many points it's worth. I'm going to go back to 2 because it's not really worth 6 points, oops. And boom, that's that. So then we can add another question, and you click this little plus sign right here. And for this one, we're going to make it a short answer because you can add appropriate answers to this one as well, which is pretty neat. So what if we say what is the acronym And so then instead of typing here, which is kind of like what I did for up here, this is where the students type. We have to go to the answer key and then type in the answer. So add a correct answer, Roy G. Biv, which is how I remember it being spelled when we were younger. But then you can add other correct answers. So students might not type it the same way all the time, so we want to add a few different variations that are the same answer, essentially just typed a little bit different. So we do Roy G. Biv. That's the same answer, just lowercase. Roy G. Biv. Same answer as before, but without the period. Roy G. Biv. Same answer, but without the spaces. It's just the acronym. And then we would mark all other answers as incorrect. Obviously, this isn't the end-all be-all of their grade, so if they type something that's not here, but you know it's correct, then you can take a mental note or write it down somewhere that that is actually a correct answer, even if it pops up incorrect on their quiz. And so then we can assign some points to that. And then that's kind of that. You would add more questions depending on what you want. And then there's something that you should make sure that you have. So we go back to the settings. You want to click this collect email addresses. Once it's all done, all good to go, you want to have that selected because it helps you know who has sent the quiz back and which answers go to which students. So save that. And then it's all good to go. We can click this preview. And this is kind of the student's view. We can always go back and edit it up here, but just for the purpose of this, I'm going to show you. So my email is carly.parker. There we go. What is the first color of the rainbow? I know that's red. Click. What is the acronym that helps us? Roy G. Biv. And then you'll submit it. So this is the student's view right now. So after we hit submit, it says your response has been recorded. Great. Go to view score. And it has everything that I need right here. And look, it's all right. Yay, how exciting. So then we go back to this. Go back to my teacher view. Just edit. I can see the responses right here. Oh, and we got one response. Yay. So this is like a range of the points that have been scored. So far, everyone's gotten 100 on the quiz. How exciting. You can see the answers by question, how many have they gotten right. You can see the answers by individual. Here's me, and here's my answers. So you can really divide up the data however you want. It's a really great tool that I like a lot. Like I said, the functionality on anything but a laptop is kind of subpar, but it's a great tool because the convenience of it is really, really high. It's free like all other Google sites are. And it's pretty user-friendly. I think that it's a really great tool. I watched like one little tutorial about it and knew how to do it. It really wasn't very hard to figure out, which I think is great. Some things are a little bit unclear. I think I mentioned it earlier too when you're trying to decide where to type, if you type it in the answer key or type it in just the text box right there. That's something that kind of has tripped me up a little bit, but it wasn't very hard to kind of work around, so I think that that is a bit of a downfall, but it's really not too hard to navigate. I would personally use this in my classroom because it is so convenient. I think that the Google sites altogether are really, really nice. I like them a lot. And so I would want to integrate this into my classroom because I would love to get my students familiar with this and the other things that Google uses. Like everything I do, everything I type, my favorite word processor is Google Docs. I use Google Sheets. I use Google Slides. So just adding one to the kind of the arsenal, one Google site to the arsenal of things that I would use, I don't think is a bad thing, especially because then you can keep everything in Google Drive, which is really convenient. And it all kind of stays in one place. So I do really recommend this tool. I think that it's very user-friendly. The issues with it are minor, and if you are savvy enough to kind of watch the video and do it as you go for the first time, you'll get it like that. I think after you watch the video once or twice through, then you'll be a pro at it. There's not a whole lot to it, and there even is tutorials within the app to walk you through it. So highly recommend. Thanks for watching my video.